YouTube, what's good? It's your boy Hendrick back with another video. So I wanted to make this real quick before the NBA playoffs start. So I wanted to give my first round predictions in the video and just my finals predictions. So each round I'll give predictions on who I think is going to win, how many games, and why. So I'll just start with my finals prediction overall. So I do have the Bucks and Clippers playing in the finals. And in the first round, we'll start with the Western Conference. So Portland against the Lakers. I have the Lakers winning in 6 games. So the key to that matchup really it's going to come down to which LeBron we see. That's the one mismatch, in my opinion, that the Lakers do have. Portland doesn't have anyone that can guard him, so he should go off in this series, assuming he's the LeBron that we all are accustomed to seeing. Of course, AD, he should be productive as well. The issues that I have with the Lakers in this matchup, they definitely don't have the backcourt to guard Lillard or CJ McCollum. So if those guys go off like they've been doing, especially CJ last game and the playing against Memphis, that could make the series tougher. And I do think Portland has the bigs to make AD work a little, especially work a little bit. I mean, AD is going to get his numbers, but I definitely think Portland's bigs, Nurkic and Whiteside, can make it to where it'll be tough for AD. On the other side, defensively, he'll have to exert energy on that side of the ball. So, I mean, I think Portland has, if you look at the rosters, I think Portland actually has a better team. But I just can't count out LeBron and AD. That's just, I mean, that would be silly to do. So they got the two best players in the series. LeBron, I don't think he's ever lost a first round series. And I don't think that's going to start this year. So Lakers in 6, it'll be a great series. But I think the Lakers get it done, move on to the next round. The 4-5 matchup in the West, I think this is probably going to be the best series of them all. Thunder and Rockets. This is the only series I think that's actually going to go 7 games in the first round. I'm going to take Houston in 7. Only because I think Russell Westbrook will come back in time. I know he's dealing with a right quad strain, so that may make it tricky. So depending how many games, if he comes early, say if he misses maybe 1 or 2 games, I think Houston wins. If it's drawn out to where he's missing 3, 4 games, then I think the Thunder will win in 7. So, but I'm gonna stay with the Rockets. I think Russ comes back in time, and I think between him and our Harden should be enough to beat the Thunder. These teams are very similar. They're definitely backcourt, ball dominant driven basketball teams. Most of their offense, most of their points come from the backcourt. They got OKC, they got the 3-headed monster with they got Schroeder coming off the bench. Obviously, you got CP3 and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. The Rockets play small ball, which shouldn't hurt them in this series. I mean, they may get killed on the boards a bit because of Steven Adams. He's a great offensive rebounder. But the Thunder don't have really any bigs, back to the basket guys who's going to get in the post and go to work. So the Rockets don't have to worry about that. I mean, it's definitely going to be a perimeter-oriented series. Now, Danilo Gallinari, I mean, he is a wild card. He's more of a stretch 3, a stretch 4, but he can get in the post, especially against the smaller Rocket guards and forwards. He can definitely he should be able to thrive and have a pretty good series. But I'm gonna take Houston. I think Russ, I think Harden, I think they're both gonna have a pretty good series. I think they're both probably gonna average close to 30, or if not more. And I think, getting Eric Gordon back is definitely a key. Eric Gordon should provide some spark, especially, first couple games while Russ is out. I expect Gordon to step up in his absence and play well. So I think that they have obviously Houston's, one of the best 3-point shooting teams in the league. They're going to shoot a high volume. and they're gonna make a high volume of shots. So Houston will get it done. It's gonna be a close series, but I'm gonna take Houston, giving them the slight edge. I'll play the Lakers in the second round. So the 3-6 matchup, Denver and Utah is actually starting in the next couple minutes. I have Denver winning that series pretty easily. I say the Nuggets get it done in 5 games. I was gonna go 6, but then I seen Mike Conley he's leaving the bubble due to the birth of his son. So I don't know how long he's gonna be gone, if he comes back at all. I mean, losing him, they don't have Bogdanovich either. They're just short. They're just short-handed, man, in this series. And I think the Nuggets' depth, even though I don't think Will Barton or Gary Harris is playing today, but I'm sure they'll be back at some point during this series. They may not even need those two. May want to rest them up for the next round. But I think that Denver's depth, they got a lot of guys. I think the emergence of the MPJ, I don't think Utah has anyone that can match up with him. Gobert and Jokic, I don't think Rudy can guard Nikola, especially out in the perimeter. You know, with Jokic's playmaking ability and shooting. I think they'll get enough from him. MPJ, Jamal Murray will play well as well. The reason why I won't go a sweep is because I think Donovan Mitchell's going to have a couple games where he just goes off for 35 to 40, and it's enough. But ultimately, the Nuggets are a better team, and they should win this series handily. So, Nuggets in 5. Now, the last matchup out in the Western Conference is the 7-2 matchup between the Dallas Mavericks and the Los Angeles Clippers. The Clippers, they should win that series easily. I have the Clippers winning in 5. Luka, Porzingis, they're great, but if you look at the regular season matchup, Luka struggles. The Clippers have enough perimeter defenders, enough bodies to throw at Luka. They get physical with them, and his numbers actually against the Clippers versus everyone else are lower. As far as field goal percentage, points, rebounds, assists, he just doesn't produce the same. And I think PG and Kawhi are going to make it a point to try to neutralize what he does. The wild card is Porzingis. I mean, the Clippers aren't a big team, so his size, his ability to shoot, if he can average close to 30, if he can play how he's been playing in the bubble, he's been playing great, then Dallas has, a better chance. But I think the Clippers just have too much depth. Dallas is not a great, they're a great offensive team, but they don't play well in the last few minutes of the game. Their offense gets stagnant a lot of times, a lot of iso ball with Luka, and that plays into the Clippers' hands with their perimeter defense. And the Clippers, the shooting, the depth, they got a lot of guys. The Dallas cannot guard at all. They're one of the worst defensive teams. Between them and Portland, they're probably the 2 worst defensive teams that we have in the bubble. And I just think the Clippers are just going to wear them down. Montrez coming back, Lou Williams. They just got too much firepower for Dallas. The games will be entertaining, but I think the last 5 minutes, the Clippers are just going to put the clamps down. You're really going to see the difference between the 2 teams as far as late game execution. So Clippers in 5, they'll move on to play the Nuggets in the second round, in my opinion. So if we switch conferences, we'll go to the Eastern Conference, the 1-8 matchup between the Bucks and Magic. Good thing for Orlando, they're playing in their home backyard. They don't have to travel very far because next week they'll be going back home because they're gonna get swept. The Bucks are gonna win this series 4-0. I think this is the only sweep that I have in the playoffs. When they played in the regular season, the Bucks won all the matchups. Losing Jonathan Isaac, they don't have really anyone that can guard. They don't have Giannis. I think he's gonna have a field day. Orlando. Chris Middleton's played well against Orlando as well this year. And I just think Milwaukee, I think they'll get back to, what they've been doing in the regular season. Orlando's not a great 3-point shooting team, so and with the Bucks' length as far as interior defense, I think Orlando's going to have a tough time scoring and stopping Milwaukee. So that's going to be a wash. It's a scrimmage for Milwaukee to get them ready, for the second round. So Bucks in 4. Now the 4-5 matchup in the East, Heat Pacers. It's going to be entertaining. I want to see. I'm sure you guys, the fans, and myself want to see the Jimmy Butler, T.J. Warren matchup. I got the Heat winning that. I'm gonna say the Heat winning 6, possibly 5, but I'm gonna go with 6. Primarily because I think the Heat's shooting. The Heat are very they're deep. They play about 9-10 guys, and they're all serviceable. They all can play. And I think Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Duncan Robinson, these guys, they have enough, and the Heat play real defense. They're aggressive. Indiana not having Sabonis definitely hurts them. They definitely need him, and I think T.J. Warren's going to struggle. I think the Heat are going to make it a point to try to take him out, neutralize what he's been doing. Jimmy Butler's definitely going to take that challenge head on and try to shut him down. And I just don't think Victor Oladipo's healthy completely to where he can be kind of the next guy up to step up and score consistently, be a 20, 25 point per game scorer. I don't think he's there yet from a health standpoint. So I just don't think they have enough firepower to give the Heat really any concern. And if you look in the regular season matchups, the Heat have beaten them pretty handily. So yeah, the Heat, say the Heat win in 6. I don't think they'll have too much issues getting by the Pacers. So the 3-6 matchup, which is the Celtics and Sixers. Out of respect to Joel Embiid, I'm going to say the Celtics win in 6. If they had Ben Simmons, the Sixers would have beaten the Celtics in my opinion. But losing Ben, I think that's going to hurt them. Outside of, I know what I have in Joel Embiid. I'm just not sure about the other guys. Tobias Harris, one game he'll have 20, the next game he'll kind of disappear. Josh Richardson, same thing. I don't think the Sixers have enough shooting to really give the Celtics perimeter defenders anything too much to worry about. They're going to pretty much have to game plan and really try to slow down what Embiid does, because they don't really have a matchup. A guy that can match up with them. So it's going to have to be a team effort. And I think the Celtics just have too much on the perimeter. I don't know how healthy Kemba is with his knee, but with Jaylen Brown, I think Tatum's going to have a great series. Marcus Smart coming off the bench. Hayward. I think they just got too much. Yeah, I definitely think they have a coaching advantage too with Brad Stevens, even in late game situations. So I think Boston wins in 6. It should be a tough, kind of gritty, series, but I think Boston's up for the challenge, and I expect Boston to go very far actually in the playoffs. So Celtics in 6, and then the last matchup, Nets and Raptors. I mean, this is gonna be a wash. Raptors, I'm going to say they win in 5. I don't think it's going to be a sweep, but I think Brooklyn, Karis LeVert will show up. Maybe Joe Harris hits 7 threes in a game, and Brooklyn wins 1 game. I think Toronto wins pretty easily. I just don't think Brooklyn has enough. I think they're undermanned. I think Toronto, Nick Nurse will come up with a game plan to slow down LeVert, try to take him out the game. And my gut is they'll probably put Pascal Siakam on him, or they'll probably mix and match between Siakam and Anunoby to guard, put length on him to try to slow down, turn him into a volume scorer. And outside of that, they really don't have anything else. Jared Allen's a solid piece. They have Joe Harris, but outside of that, they don't really have anything else to give Nick Nurse and the coaching staff to lose much sleep. So I think Toronto, this is kind of a scrimmage for them to get them ready, for what's to come later on in the playoffs. So Raptors in 5. So so that's going to be it for the video. Hope you guys enjoy. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Appreciate you guys, and you guys enjoy the rest of the playoffs. I'll be back for another video, and I'll predict once the first round commences, or once the first round concludes, sorry. I'll talk about the second round and give my predictions there. But I do have Bucks and Clippers in the final. So I appreciate you guys. Peace.